அட்டகாசமான அரசியல்வாதியாக பியூர் பாலிடிக்ஸ் பயிற்சி பட்டறை, நேரடி மற்றும் இணைய வழி வகுப்புகள் February 23 முதல் March 8 வரை. தொடர்புக்கு 7388824242.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the discussion on the Water Prevention and Control Amendment Bill 2024. I stand here to raise my concerns regarding the bill and amend one of the very core environmental acts of this country, which is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. The intent of this government is to bring this bill is very clear: decriminalize and let go the violators that pollute the water resources of country. This is a bill against the children of our country. This is bill against the culture of India itself, where we worship the environment as God. This bill is against the federal nature of this country itself. Sir, it has not been long since the government passed the Jan Vishwas bill, which contains similar provisions that decriminalized violations of the act of governing air pollution. We know that Delhi, how air pollution is a bigger issue. I doubt that the government is proposing to do in the name of ease of doing business the same thing. I vehemently stand today to warn the union government that the opportunity cost of passing this bill is the access of our future generations of a pollution-free, disease-free life. When the recent laws being introduced and passed by the government, it is evident that the government has no respect for the environment of this country. Therefore, I may take this moment to remind this government of the Subhash Kumar versus State of Bihar case in 1991. The Supreme Court in this case has strongly ruled out that the right to pollution-free water and air is a fundamental right under Article 27. Subsequently, the right of the pollution-free environment was incorporated in the Constitution's right to life, and all the law courts within the Indian Union territory were bound to follow the same. I am surprised that the government has no regard for this verdict. Sir, I like to bring out that this Water and Prevention Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024 is just another attempt to align the 1974 Water Act with the current anarchist policies of the government. That is, to disarm the state governments, to bring everything under the central government's control, under the control of Delhi. Now the new bill is aimed at shifting the powers of the state governments to the central government regarding the constitution of the SPCBs. Let me explain that this power, in terms of appointment of the chairmen of SPCBs, terms and conditions of the service of SPCBs, chairman and appointment of adjudicating officers who will be now vested with the central government. The major issue of this shift is that central government, the elected central governments, will be losing its authority over critical decisions that impact the functionality of this bill itself. Further, the bill has been amended Section 27 of the Principal Act to insert provisions that give the union government an ultimate power to issue guidelines regarding matters relating to grants, refusal, or cancellation of consent by the any state board for the establishment of any industry, its operation, processes, and treatment and disposal systems. It is also mentioned in the bill that every state government should act accordingly to orders, guidelines issued by the central government. This is a clear move to overpower the decisions of the state governments. The proposed bill grants the central government the authority to exempt certain industry categories from the obligatory need to obtain consent to the discharging of industrial waste into the water bodies. This highlights concern that the current government of its own interest might enable influential industries in polluting water bodies, similar to the perceived empowerment of individuals like the Adani Group, who are accused of exploiting people and resources for personal gain. Further, granting certain industries exemptions for the central government to release industrial waste into water bodies raise growing environmental concerns. With minimal oversight and these exemptions, the unrestricted discharge of industrial waste poses a significant risk of water contamination in lakes, rivers, and groundwater. This would eventually render the water unsafe for the surrounding communities, pose threats to the nearby forest cover, and wildlife dependent on these water bodies. Sir, one of the major concerns of the bill poses is the omission of the imprisonment of repeated offenders under the section 24, section 25, or section 27, which previously ranged from 2 to 7 years imprisonment. This removal raises concern that the effectiveness of the state level deterrence against the industrial pollution and provides big leeway for repeated offenders. In the earlier draft of the act, imprisonment of the repeated offenders served as a stringent consequences for violating environmental laws, compelling industries to take compliance seriously. With the current absence of such stringent punishment, there is a risk of diminished accountability, allowing offenders to potentially evade significantly by merely paying substantial fines. I am surprised that the government has decriminalized serious offenders, such as failure to comply with such orders by a state board or courts on emergency measures in a case of pollution or steam or well. Also, offenses such as failure to intimate of the occurrence of any incidents or any other unforeseen events and damages caused by any work or property belonging to the pollution control boards, which are grave in nature, have been replaced with penalties. It means that those who have money can get away with the consequences. In the name of building a spirit of ease of living and ease of doing business, the government is surrendering the shield against environment pollution. The state of objects and reasons of the bill states that I quote, that the cornerstone of the democratic governance lies in the government trusting in its own people and institutions. But the decriminalization of serious offenses in the bill suggests otherwise. That is, the government is trusting the country's environment with their business friends. We all know how strong Modi ji's friendship with the crony capitalists exists. The current government often highlights the Namami Gange initiative as one of its initial commitments, with Prime Minister Modi expressing personal duty to serve Ma Ganga by aiming to clean the scared river. Unfortunately, it appears that these efforts have fallen short, and the condition of Ganga remains cause of concern. Despite promises, Ganga stands as one of the world's polluted rivers, with approximately 80% of the pollutants originating from the untreated industrial and household effluents. According to the CPCBC, a mere 37 out of 222 monitoring sites among the Ganga boast water suitable for bathing. Is this how these depictive promises made to the citizens of the country work? It is noteworthy that despite consistent expressions of the concern by the Supreme Court and the Delhi High Court and the National Green Tribunal regarding the environmental issues in the National Capital Region, including the state of Yamuna River, air pollution, and waste management, only one conviction under the Water Prevention and Control Act 1974 took place in 2017. The limited number of convictions suggests that the fear of criminal prosecution is not serving in a sufficient deterrent. Given the highlighted concerns in the draft bill, it appears that intended purpose of the amendment may not be fulfilled. But the need of the offer is to evaluate an existing structure and institutionalize the capabilities of CPCBs rather than diluting the battle against pollution itself. Also, the government should note that merely increasing the center's power with CPCBs is not the right path and will not render effective without addressing the basic problem. That is, without enhancing its institutional capacity and components to exercise these powers. No amendments in the bill will prove effective. Therefore, I end with my speech suggesting that the government focus on addressing the shortcomings in the existing regulatory institutions instead of constantly coming up with the new hollow laws that detail the entire governance structure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak on the Water Prevention and Control Pollution Amendment Bill 2024. Sir, this bill though it has brought in consistence with the air pollution and water pollution. But the nomenclatures of the bill, the inputs of the bill, when you read on the fine lines, it really is a draconian law. So initially, let me start with, I know that the bill is now to apply for Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan and the union territories. But I know for sure that this bill is going to be amended or expanded to the other states in India also. I'll go by class, sir. So first is about the concern for exemption of the industries. So the bill specifies that the central government, in consultation with the Central Pollution Control Board, may accept certain categories of industrial plants from obtaining consents. Sir, when in any state, whenever they have to start an industry, they will first approach the State Pollution Control Board. The State Pollution Control Board will look at the possibilities and the feasibilities and the water pollution measures, then they will give the consent. Now, they say that the Central Pollution Control Board simply can issue an order. If at all, the government of India proposes to issue a pollution certificate to an industry which is happening in a state or coming into a state, and that causes any malpractices or that causes any pollution discomforts or water pollution, who is answerable? The state is answerable. The public will only walk into the state premises, the state government or the panchayat or whatever with the state authorities, and they will be questioned. But the central government will keep quiet and they will not interfere into kind of things. So this is a draconian law that says that the central government can issue any kind of a consent to any officer, any industries without the concern of the State Pollution Control Board. This is a very, very bad move by this in this act. Secondly, sir, the bill also adds the government may issue guidelines for the grant of refusal and cancellation of the consent granted by the State Pollution Control Board. If at all a State Pollution Control Board has already given a consent to an industry, that consent can also be cancelled by the Central Pollution Control Board. What is this, sir? Sir, where are we going up? So entire India, the entire government, the government of the central government is now only acting to crush the state autonomy. So any pollution control concerns given by the state after acting upon all the rules and regulations can be cancelled by the Central Pollution Control Board. This is a draconian law. And the third one, the chairman of the board. Sir, the State Pollution Control Board is an autonomous body that is happening or that is existing by the state authorities. Now the Central Pollution Control Board will come to the state and say that this is how you have to attempt and appoint a chairman of the board. What is this, sir? So the governor will come. He will say who is going to be the vice chancellor or chancellor of a university. Then the next person from the central government will come. He will say that this is how you have to be. And now, even for the Pollution Control Board chairman also, the central government is going to come and they are going to tell that this is how you have to appoint the chairman of the State Pollution Control Board. So this is another draconian law. They are taking away all the rights of the states. And another point is that the State Pollution Control Board will issue directions immediately restraining the activity which is leading to the discharge of polluting materials in the water body. Now, whenever there is a mishap in the State Pollution Control Board will impose fine or penalty or even imprisonment, depending on the crime situation, depending on the happenings, whichever the incident. Now, the Central Pollution Control Board walks into because of the act, they walk into the state saying that no, hereafter you will not impose any kind of an imprisonment. You will not do anything. All you can do is only impose a fine of rupees 10,000 rupees or to 15 lakh rupees. So they are now taking away the punishment category also. And the next point is the penalty of the offences. Under the old act, an offence which is a punishment not explicitly specified by the punishable with an imprisonment term up to 3 months or a fine up to 10,000 rupees or both. Sir, whenever there is whenever something happens in the state that is against the State Pollution Control Board, they will impose a fine of 10,000 rupees or both or whatever it is. Now again, the Central Pollution Control Board is walking into the shoes of the State Pollution Control Board, and they are saying that no. We will only prescribe what is going to be the provision. You cannot arrest anyone, even if there is a great calamity or whatever has happened. Another thing, sir, this bill allows the central government to appoint adjudication officer to determine the penalty of that. Okay, they are going to appoint adjudication officers to examine what has happened. The officers must be at the level of a joint secretary to the central government or the secretary to the state or the government, whatever is the role of the state government in appointment of the adjudication officer. The union government big brother attitude is unwarranted. They step in again and saying that who is going to be the adjudication officer. So now tell me, sir, I am asking this August House, a state is having an autonomous activity. The state is autonomous, which is taking care of their own business. But the central is walking into each and every parameter, each and every instances of a state. They are infringing into the autonomy. The entire constitution, which is happening, is now demoralized. Sir, the cognizance of the offenses. This is very interesting part of this act. Sir, whenever any fault or whenever malpractice is happening in occurrence in the State Pollution Control Board, earlier the officers who were all connected with the crime will be punished. Now, the new act, which is telling this August House, they are saying that now the Central Pollution Control Board is telling the state or this August House stating that if at all there is a crime, if at all there is a fault, it has happened in that Pollution Control Board in granting license or whatever it is, the action will be taken only on the chairman of the board, where 1 month of his basic salary will be given. End of the crime. So there is no punishment. Even 10 officers who have jointly done the crime also, still the punishment is going to be the basic salary. Now, I'm only asking this August House, sir. Sir, each and every state, running a state is difficult. Each and every state, they are going here and there to bring in investments, bring in funds and all the things. But the central is infringing into all the things. Sir, they introduced GST, took away all our money. They introduced NEET, took away all our autonomy in giving medical seats. Dam safety bill, national education policy, citizenship amendment bill, 3 farm bill, multi-cooperative society bill, criminal procedure identification, electricity amendment, Delhi municipality bill, Indian medicine bill, national medical commission bill, authority bill, major port authority bill, motor vehicle bill also. Sir, they are taking away all the rights of the state. Sir, I'll tell you, I'm going to conclude very shortly, sir. Please. Sir, our chief minister from Tamil Nadu is traveling here and there to invite investors to state. I'm talking generally for other states also. Each and every chief minister of a state, the state cabinet runs here and there to invite people to come and invest, to start up industries. But if this kind of a bigger brother attitude is there, where they said you can do this, you cannot do this without the state autonomy, then how will the investors walk into the states? It is not possible. Therefore, I want to this August House to recall this bill and make amendments such a way that the state authority is not questioned. Sir, I will just only one word I want to complete. In Tamil, they used to say, my chief minister always says, மக்களுக்கு எல்லா நன்மைகளும் செய்வது மாநில அரசுகள் தான். மாநில அரசிடம் இருந்துதான் அன்றாட தேவைகளையும் மக்கள் எதிர்பார்க்கிறார்கள். ஆனால் அதற்கு இந்த மத்திய அரசு முட்டுக்கட்டை போடுகிறது. One final word, sir. If this kind of a big brother attitude is going to continue, then you will lose all the states. Today you need a big brother. You are very powerful. But tomorrow you may need to sit here. We will sit there. You will again face the same opinion. Sir, I will finally conclude with 4 lines in Tamil. 4 lines in Tamil. எய்பவர்களுக்கே காலம் என்று எண்ணி விடாதே. போய் எத்தனை நாள் கை கொடுக்கும் மறந்து விடாதே. ஒரு நாள் இந்த நிலைமை மாறுதல் உண்டு. அந்த மாறுதலை செய்வதற்கு தேர்தல் உண்டு. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.